Hi, good morning and welcome to the finale of the Festival for Good 2020. My name is Erwin and I will be your MC for today. Festival for Good 2020 is Asia's largest celebration of social enterprises and the social impact they create. This year, 130 social enterprises were showcased throughout the month-long festival across 5 different features. And the Festival for Good was brought to you by the Singapore Centre for Social Enterprise, RACE, and in partnership with DBS Foundation and virtual venue partner South Beach Consortium. Today we are going to have a special guest of honor, Ms. Soon Shea Ling, the Minister of State for the Ministry of Social and Family Development and Ministry of Education as our guest of honor. And for today's finale, we will be having a sharing of the highlight video of the month-long activities, the announcement of the People's Choice Award for the top 5 favorite SEs as voted by you, as well as the premiere of a film entitled Self-Portrait, a performative tour by Access Par Productions, followed by a post-show dialogue session. So please get comfortable as we get ready for the arrival of our guest of honor. Thank you. Well, a very good morning and welcome to the finale of the Festival for Good 2020. My name is Erwin and I will be your MC for today. Today we are really excited to have Ms. Soon Shea Ling, the Minister of State for the Ministry of Social and Family Development and Ministry of Education as our guest of honor. And as mentioned, for today's finale, we'll be sharing a highlight video of the month-long activities, the announcement of the People's Choice Award for the top 5 favorite SEs as voted by you, as well as the premiere of the film entitled Self-Portrait, a performative tour by Access Par Productions, and a post-show dialogue session. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to join me in welcoming our guest of honor by waving her in with your hands like this. So everybody, welcome Ms. Soon. Welcome. Good morning. Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm reminded, that this is the sign language for clapping, for our friends with disabilities. So very useful now when we're all in a Zoom environment.
That's
Good morning
right.
to everyone. Yes,
Good morning.
to Mr. Gautam Banerjee, Chairman of the RACE Board of Directors, members of the RACE Board of Directors, Mr. Alfie Offman, CEO of RACE, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to everyone, and I'm glad to join all of you today for the finale of RACE Festival for Good 2020 to celebrate the successes and take stock of the rich conversation which have taken place over the past 4 weeks between social enterprises, businesses, and the public. COVID-19 has exposed the vulnerabilities of traditional business models and spurred the need for innovation across all sectors of the economy. Just now, I had a chance to speak with some of our directors, and Mr. Gautam Banerjee reminded me that we are as strong as the weakest link amongst us. And I think that is a very, very poignant and meaningful reminder. The Festival for Good itself is a platform for us to catalyze the transformation of our social enterprises, and this has also unlocked new opportunities for the sector. Despite going virtual for the very first time, Festival for Good has grown bigger and better with about 31,000 people visiting its website, accumulating more than 67,000 page views. 130 social enterprises participated this year as compared to 86 in 2018. So we should all give ourselves a huge pat on the back and a huge clap because these are wonderful results in a year of COVID-19. Apart from raising public awareness of the sector, this event has also enabled social enterprises to build their digital capabilities and also strengthen customer engagement. For example, RACE has organized masterclasses and clinics for social enterprises in the lead-up to the event on topics such as digital sales, conducting virtual workshops, and leveraging social media. One participant, Design for Change, is a social enterprise which conducts workshops for children and youth. It picked up new ideas from the digital clinics and was able to reach out to a wider online audience. And I'm heartened that social enterprises were able to find opportunities despite the crisis, and I congratulate the RAISE team for their hard work to make this possible. Other than social enterprises, there are many other stakeholders who have contributed to the vibrancy and success of the sector. Through the Festival for Good, RAISE was able to bring together these partners to continue to support our social enterprises in delivering social impact innovatively. The first ever B2B experience provided a platform for social enterprises to network and partner with companies, charities, and other organizations. Participants such as McKinsey, Ernst & Young, Suntec, and the Singapore University of Social Sciences engaged our social enterprises to explore collaborations such as procurement of products and services. These B2B partnerships can improve the social enterprises' market access and form an important source of revenue. Further, they can serve to integrate social considerations into the business models of the private sector. Just now, I had a chance to also speak to Liam, and one of our board directors, and he reminded us that actually our environment and sustainability goals, our social contributions should not be dichotomous and should not be separate to the objectives and motivations of our business sector friends. And I think that is a very, very good reminder, and even more so in the post-COVID-19 world. Apart from the partnerships and agreements signed, Festival for Good has also hosted 10 conversations involving corporates, impacting investors, and social enterprises to garner greater mindshare amongst the sector stakeholders. And through these conversations, participants recognize the need to collaborate with social enterprises at a deeper level, such as identifying clear environmental, social, and governance objectives that align with their corporate vision, and working with social enterprises which support these goals. And as consumers of products and services, businesses can also contribute towards a more socially conscious and sustainable economy by working with social enterprises. And this is especially important with COVID-19 showing us that a strong economy is only possible with a resilient society. Earlier, I asked the board of directors, what more can the Ministry of Social and Family Development do? I was quite heartened to hear that our directors thanked the MSF, but also said that we should bring in other ministries and other government agencies in. And I think that is a very meaningful point that they are making. For them to speak with, for instance, my colleagues at the MTI and the other economic agencies would drive home the point that even as we grow our private sector and businesses, they should also be looking at environment, social, and governance roles as well. And there's much more, many things that we can work together with our social enterprises on. Another benefit I see from hosting today's event online is that our social enterprises can reach out to a wider audience beyond Singapore. Indeed, around 10% of this year's participants come from overseas. And I encourage our social enterprises to explore this promising market to scale their businesses and social impact in the coming years. With access to financing remaining still a significant challenge for our social enterprises, impact investors can support our social enterprises to scale and enhance their social impact while generating return. In closing, the Festival for Good 2020 has been a platform for social enterprises to rethink their operations and showcase the fruits of their creative efforts to the public. It is therefore befitting that we have a film premiere of Self-Portrait, a performative film tour today by Access Path Productions, a social enterprises working with beneficiaries to produce plays and other works of art. The film takes you through the works of Chua Subin, one of Singapore's most iconic photographers, and features several young, promising artists. I hope you will enjoy the film and appreciate the talents of our beneficiaries. Well, today is the finale. The Festival for Good website will be up for another week. And I encourage everyone to visit the website to support our social enterprises. The event is a small step forward in the journey of impact creation. But I thank you all for your many contributions, for your support, and I hope that the conversations, partnerships, and creative energy we saw throughout the event will continue well beyond today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us on this Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day, and together, let's emerge stronger from the crisis and do good together. Thank you.
Thank you, MOS, for your kind and encouraging words to all of us. We'd like to share with you now a video to highlight the memories, achievements, and behind-the-scenes look of Festival for Good 2020. Festival for Good is RAI's flagship event and Asia's largest celebration of social enterprises and the social impact they deliver. Let us welcome Minister Mazagos to the opening launch ceremony of RAI's Festival for Good. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, everybody. Hello.
3, 2, 1. And may the festivities begin.
New B2B Experience Lounge is also available to facilitate networking with potential business partners.
I once again welcome to the first conversation for Festival for Good 2020.
Everything in all your purchases, be conscious of what you're purchasing, of what you're buying, of whether you really need it or not. Responsible consumption does a lot to impact responsible production.
It's not just a plus point. It is a core, it is purposeful, and it's creating the value that not only the market needs from an economic standpoint, but that people need, that even our employees are benefiting from because of the inclusivity, because of that diversity.
Welcome to the fake news workshop. Just remember to keep your video screen switched on because later you're going to do a presentation of the activity that we're going to do after this.
Yes, truly a memorable event for all our festival goers, social enterprises, and supporters. We will now have the privilege for MOS to announce the People's Choice Awards for the top 5 social enterprises as voted by our festival goers. This contest intends to encourage our participating social enterprises with the support of the public. We collected over 1,000 votes, which is an amazing number of people showing their support and interest. From these votes, 5 social enterprises will be chosen out of the 130 local and regional social enterprises that participated at Festival for Good. In fact, we had to increase the number of winners this year from 3 to 5 due to the large number of participating social enterprises. Each winning social enterprise will be awarded $600 in cash. And now we will have MOS to announce the winners one by one in alphabetical order. So Ms. Soon, may I invite you to read the first name that you see on the screen, please?
Yes. So for winner number 1, we have Drum Prodigy Singapore.
Drum Prodigy Singapore, congratulations! Awesome! Oh, hi! Well, Drum Prodigy Singapore provides music education and wellness programs for all abilities in a positive and non-competitive and empowering environment. You know, every other festival previously, we would have their drummers drumming through the whole festival, and it would be so exciting, and what a treat to have them here and winning this as well. Congratulations, Drum Prodigy. All right, Miss Sun, would you like to read the second winner, please?
Yes, for our winner number 2, we have My Nonas.
My Nonas? Oh, congratulations! Wonderful! My Nonas is a F&B social enterprise that provide meaningful employment for persons with special needs. And they serve up delicious home-style Italian dishes and other international fares. And what's also interesting, they actually were our 2018 winners too as well. So they are really popular with all their fans and supporters out there. Thank you. All right, Miss Sun, would you like to read the third winner, please?
Our third winner is Soap Cycling.
Soap Cycling! Wonderful! Where are you? Oh dear. Well, Soap Cycling is unable to join us today. However, congratulations again. Soap Cycling is set out to reduce wastage and improve sanitation and hygiene through soap recycling. Interestingly, they usually work with hospitality partners, but during COVID-19, they actually started doing more educational activities for kids to develop greater awareness of upcycling and the importance of practicing good hand washing habits. Well, let's go on to our last two. Miss Sun, would you like to read the fourth winner, please?
Yes, and for winner number 4, we have Teddy Thoughts.
Teddy Tots, are you out there? Teddy Tots, congratulations. Hey, wonderful. All right, Teddy Tots is a social enterprise that works with marginalized groups like the elderly, single moms, and low-income families to create and sell homemade and handmade products. They retail amazing handcrafted crochet animals, patchwork blankets, and accessories, all while developing the skills and providing employment for the vulnerable. And their handmade crochets have certainly drawn crowds wherever they go, including in 2018 when they were also the winners of the People's Choice Award at Festival for Good. So congratulations, Teddy Todd. Miss Sun, we're on to the last winners. Please do us the honor.
Yes, drum roll, drum roll. And our final winner for today is the Learners Collaborative School.
Learners Collaborative School, hey, congratulations!
Yay!
Well, the Learners Collaborative School is hashtag not just another tuition center. They believe that all children have the ability and potential to succeed in life, regardless of their family background. And by providing children with the right support, each of them can activate their potential to succeed in life. Well, the people behind the Learners Collaborative School are committed to providing equitable education for all children. Wonderful. Congratulations again to all our top 5 social enterprises. Thank you, Ms. Sun, for announcing the winners. Can I invite MOS and all our SEs to take a quick photo? So if you're with us on Zoom, just join us by turning on your videos and sharing your best smile while we capture this moment with MOS. All right, wonderful. Thank you, MOS, for gracing our finale. May I invite you now to join our 5 winners into the breakout room for further interaction. Thank you. Well, for the rest of us, don't zoom out yet, as we will now have the premiere of the performative film entitled Self-Portrait, a Performative Tour by Excess Path Productions, a social enterprise. Now, this film takes audiences on a poetic journey through the work of Singapore's most significant photographer, Chua Soo Bin. His retrospective Truth and Legends exhibition, held at the National Gallery Singapore, remembers his legacy and impact on art. This film features some of Singapore's most exciting young artists, like dancer Amar Amazi, rapper producer Will Smith, playwright Tung Ka Wai, performer Chanel Ariel Chan, and sign language interpreter Evelyn Chai. And XF Path Productions has made waves in recent years producing innovative disability-led work accessible to a wide community of audiences. So for those of you who are going to watch the film and require the audio described version, please visit Access Path Productions website. The link is now being sent to you over the chat function. There will also be a post-performance dialogue session at the end of the film screening. So do submit your questions via the Pigeonhole link as seen on the screen right now, www.pigeonhole.at, and key in the code FFG2020 to access and submit your questions in. So ladies and gentlemen, join us now for the performance and meditate on the art and life amidst Chua Soo Bin's most iconic images.
Selfie.
To be presented as a noble, hung at home or in a museum.
Photography.
To see and be seen.
The tired 14-year-old me sat on top of a double-decker bus, looking over the gates of houses into strangers' front yard. The newer houses were usually paved in concrete, cold front lawns for maximizing the numbers of cars that can possibly be fit in a tight space. Given Singapore's astronomically high property and car prices, you'd be surprised of how much the rich can actually afford. The older houses, built by generation before, were more generous with the grass. Built for a different time where perhaps the weather was cooler and we weren't so conditioned to 18 degrees air conditioner climates. Then, there were these houses being built in the corner of a T-junction, a construct of glass mixed with black and white aesthetic of a colonial government housing. As double-decker bus rides went by, the house was slowly populated with green. Palm trees, ferns, and bushes seemed to burst out of the house and over the walls. It seemed to hide the house, shrouding it in nature. If you asked me what the house looked like, I couldn't tell you. Then one day, a curious figure appeared on its front lawn. A 10-foot silver sculpture of a man-dog, mid-leap, wearing a jester's hat with a grin under his pointed nose, appeared overlooking the driveway. The owner of this house wasn't typical. My 14 years old self recoiled at the sight. Why would you do that to your beautiful house? I asked. I went home. I told my mother what I had seen and we both had a good laugh. I would never have that in my house. For the next 13 years of going past that house to this day, that same man dog would stare at me as I stared back. Right before I pressed the bell to let the driver in front know it was my stop. It seemed to greet me and soon blended into the landscape. It became a matter of fact, a sign of home.
14 years ago, a residency opened up in Chengdu, China, by Singaporean photographer Chua Sun Bin. Among the artists was Vincent Liao, a sculptor who would go on to make Andy, a series of man-dog sculptures, one of which now resides in Su Bin's own home.
No, we not the same, somebody better tell me why. I really need my answers or somebody gonna die. I'm angered by the question, cause I really need to know. Better come in heavy, cause I'm pull up from the low. I got lazy legs, they don't stand for shit. Fingers so big, tell me how to grip. Body fragile and my chest too weak. All this pissed off and I'm losing my kick. Trying to find the reason why the reason poison. Trying to understand why my body's broken. I've been in too many problems. Trying to fucking swim it, but I'm drowning in them. But struggle not a season, this shit is lifelong. Tell me what's the vision and they got it all wrong. I'm not supposed to be mad, but often I do. Couldn't switch it fast enough, and I know this you know. Never blame nobody for my body like this. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. Never blame nobody when my shit gets so rough. Never blame nobody when my shit gets so tough. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. There's a part on me that nobody could understand. Struggling and struggling, the pain will never end. Really it's a business and that shit repeats again. Everybody show that it's an issue with my hand. Keep up with the pace, we living in the race. Trying to find the ways, but we running in the maze. Tell me where to go now, cause I've been on the low. Tell me where to go, cause I really need to know. Just a young man with a dream on his sleeve. Just a young man took a risk with the heat. My life got me running like a marathon. Body getting fucked up, but I carry on. I know I cannot give up, cause I really wanna live. Giving all I got before I'm buried underneath. Music live forever, that's what I believe. Die like a legend, cause I live like a myth. Never blame nobody for my body like this. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. Never blame nobody when my shit gets so rough. Never blame nobody when my shit gets so tough. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. The chance that I miss. Never chance that I miss. Never blame nobody for the chance that I miss. Like that, maybe somewhat like that. You know, plus minus put sugar and then put bubble tea. You know, it's gonna be like that. You know. No, please don't kill my vibe. No, please don't kill my vibe.
Legends, the greats, the myth, the stars and the way. Truth, facts, laws, principles and endure. A certain distinctive trait and a similar character, I suppose. Legends are also referred to as a waypoint and a map, a navigation system. leading wanderers and explorers through the vast space in hopes to reach the land they dreamt of. In pursuit of satisfying one's monomania, often by a militant code of conduct, of which aren't made for anybody but the self. Devoured by a passage of a creator, legends exist to create, leaving trails of existence beyond his given time. The truth is here, within what's left. No wonder it's a journey. Welcome. Welcome to the Old Boys Club. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, where hung man-made pictures of men making pictures, celebrating old warriors who wielded pen, ink, paint, paper, canvas, and fought long forgotten wars of what art is. Right? Left. Champions of what ye should see or not see. Welcome.
This artist paints nude. Artist acts. Nude rest. Artist holds power. Nude accepts. Artist grows old. Nude remains young. An artist cannot be the nude because an old body is shameful. Wearing a batik shirt is even worse. I have the look. You bullshit. 'Cause you want to. What the? Oh my. Who'd ever thought? So you did. So you did. Where are the male nude models? Where are the women painters? The Nanyang Circle? We were all migrants. We all came here to survive. Yes, the men came first, but I've never felt threatened by them. For me, it was always about the art. And my art spoke for itself. Je m'appelle Chandana. My name is Georgette Chen. The pine trees, the evergreen pine trees. In China, the pine tree represents strength, longevity, and virtue. You can eat the pine cones, you can drink tea with the pine needles, you can make all sorts of craft works, and the pine gives off a pleasant scent. In China, I painted lotus in a breeze. The lotus is softness, beauty, and virtue. The lotus blooms most beautifully in the deepest mud. You can also eat every part of the lotus. Yes. Not at all. Draw you. Yes, you. I did.
It's more meaningful to capture something ugly in a beautiful way than in capturing something which is already beautiful. But what is beautiful? Are you beautiful because you are a model? Are you beautiful because you are painted by an artist? Are you beautiful because you are captured by a photographer? What is beautiful? Am I beautiful? Are you beautiful? It's about defying the mundane, fighting the suffocating norms. It's about conveying a different sense of beauty, like the works of Matisse, Picasso, Botero, Giacometti, and of course, Cheng Xiaoting.
I remember what I really wanted to say. You matter. Your thoughtfulness matters. Your awkwardness matters. You matter. 要真正在摄影中了解一个人，是需要时间的。你会花多少时间去了解一张照片？很多时候，我们只看见传奇，看见艺术，看见艺术家，却忘了背后的真实。或许，真实就在生活的每一个瞬间。吴冠中老师记录在这里的每一张照片，手里都拿着画板，把周围有趣的一景一物记录下来。有一次，他在游泳池旁边看到一位很特别的外国女生，他有点尴尬。不好意思地走上前去问他：“你可以做我的模特儿吗？我是个画家，我画画的。” 结果他还真的答应了，所以就有这一张画家模特儿看着摄影师的镜头拍下的照片。你会花多少时间去了解一张照片？20多年，蔡思敏老师花了20多年的时间拍下这些照片，为我们留下传奇背后的真实。要真正在摄影中了解一个人，是需要时间的。
This wasn't new to him. A photo in exchange for a drink, for a painting, for a sketch, for a friendship that would last through the twilight of their years. He would outlive many of them.
The canyons of their wrinkles will always be there, to be felt and seen by gallery visitors. The gaps between their teeth will always be there, for the patrons to peer into the caverns of their mouths. The laughter they shared over crabs will always be there, with the aroma forever wafting through the portraits.
Creators have a way of capturing one another and suspending each other in time. 10, 20, 30 years don't matter once the work is created. The details are sketchy. You can see the rough shapes of the eyes, the hair, the chiseled structure of cheeks, and the unmistakable fuzz of moustache and goatee. If there was no creator to indicate this was who it was, we will never know.
Yet, we feel the moment of fleeting joy imprinted onto the page, of being able to see a friend walk through the doors of a hospital to say a final goodbye, bearing gifts, not of flowers, but of pens, a gift of hope that one day he would live on and lift it up again. But what we are left with is not a masterpiece. What we are left with is an echo through time of a goodbye. By an old subject. Friend. Friend. Doing what he loved most.
Wow, an interesting and thought-provoking film. So what did you see, or what did you not see? Well, right now we have a post-performance dialogue session with Grace, the director of the film, and performer Kawai for more insights. So now, Grace, over to you, please.
Hello everybody. Thank you so much, Owen, for the warm introduction. So hello, my name is Grace Lee Koo. I am the director of the live performance of Self-Portrait, and James Koo, no relation, is the film director of the piece that you've just seen. And I'm also the founder of Access Path Productions. We are a disability-led creative organization, and our main goal is to platform professional disabled talents in Singapore and beyond. And so we're so glad that you're taking the time to be here with us today to see the kind of work that we do here. It's diverse, it's different, and hopefully, like what Erwin said, it has been thought-provoking for you. So I think we'll start a little bit by talking about how this project came about. It's in collaboration with the National Gallery Singapore, and we were invited to be part of Light Tonight Festival 2020, even though it feels like it's been ages ago, you know, with the year that we had. And this show premiered at the gallery in January, over 2 weekends. And it's a very interactive, highly, how would I say, free, fluid kind of dynamic performance, promenade style, where audiences would just come in and out. And it's, in a way, quite a signature Access Path Productions.
A very relaxed performance.
We're relaxed, you know, we're unconventional. We go into spaces and we take over spaces.
Yes.
You know, so that was the idea. So, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that, Kawai, because at Access Path, we always say, you know, inclusion. I mean, it's a great word, and it's been used a lot quite recently. But for us, I feel that inclusion is just getting a ticket to the party. We believe and champion participation, which is not only do you get that invite to the party, you get to tear up that dance floor, that very accessible dance floor that everybody can get on, you know what I mean? Yeah. You get to bust a move. And so when we were invited to do this, just a little bit of background, I was curious about not just what Subin's ethos and spirit of his work, but also what audiences, what members of the public thought. You know, when you go into a cultural space, like a gallery or a theater, or you watch a film, I want it to be dialogic. I want it to be a two-way conversation. So from there on, the idea of having an inclusive creative writing workshop at the gallery that took place in December last year, where we invited members of the public to bring their laptops, pick up their pens, come into our space. We had sign language interpreters on board, we had audio describers on board. So come as you are. And we had the curator Charmaine who came in and shared about her process, her creative process. And then people went on to different corners of this beautiful gallery, and they wrote and generated this very precious and diverse material, which in turn was then handed over to Kawai, who's a performer playwright in his own right, and also to Chanel, to Will Smith, Daniel Bodin, and to Chong Won-young. And so they then were stimulated by these gathered creative writings, and then it turned into the performance that you've witnessed today. Yeah, so why don't you share a little bit more about your process as a playwright performer, Kawai?
I would have to say it's really a challenge, because we are not only working with text from different sources. Yeah, we took the time to understand the text and to see how we can channel it into a performance. And from the film you see just now, actually, we also try to work with different corners of the gallery space and how we interact with the paintings and the artworks. Because from the curator's tour, we actually learn a lot of the backstories to the photos. Yeah. So this is also what we would like to share with the audience, whether it's our live audience in the gallery space or our viewers for the film version. Yeah. So actually, I'm very curious, how did this digital version came about? When did this idea
People all think that it's COVID, right? And then we all have to become filmmakers when we're really theater makers. Yes. Actually, the idea came way before the circuit breaker and all that. Before. Yeah, because, well, theater is ephemeral. You come and watch a show, and then it's done live. It's, you're sharing the space together, the narratives, and then it's gone. Yeah. And in a way, Subin's exhibition as well, it has ended in September this year. Yeah. So if you go to the Guangzhou Gallery now, it's
a
gone.
New exhibition.
Something else has taken over, Subin's art. So again, ephemeral, it's not forever. So the idea of documenting this process was very, very important to me. So the moment in January when the show ended, I already knew that there's so much more people that we can reach out to
share this.
Absolutely. And also we work in the field of disability arts, and accessibility is the bedrock, the cornerstone of our work. And the digital medium, just like now how we're in a studio but we're like saying hello to people possibly in their own homes or around the world. You could be anywhere really, right? And in a way, to use this medium for good and effectively reach out to more people who might have difficulty entering cultural spaces. Yeah, so I thought that, this idea of not just documenting, but working with a creative collaborator like James, James,
director.
Yeah, who runs Pangolian Films, also a social enterprise, by the way. Right, a shout out to James and his team, who did a beautiful job. Yeah, so our ethos were aligned. We truly wanted to preserve this piece of work, right? Yeah. So actually, speaking of this, right, the Pigeonhole is open. So that's a platform where you guys can ask questions, right? So go to Pigeonhole, www.pigeonhole.at, and enter the passcode FFG2020, right? And you'll be able to ask us questions, and because we have like 10 minutes left or 13 minutes left, so let's fill that time with great conversation. All right, we got one. So I'm very fascinated by the disability aesthetics used in the film. I wonder if the producers could tell us more about the choice of aesthetics influencing the making of the production. I think that's a great question. And it sounds like it's asked by someone that we know.
It sounds very difficult.
Yes.
Sounds very difficult.
Oh, is it? Shall I like take a stab at it first, then I'll throw it at you. Okay, yeah, so at Access Path, what we employ in our creative processes is this thing we call the aesthetics of access. Now, it's not anything groundbreaking. I didn't coin it, right? It's definitely something, a sort of like a art form and vocabulary that disabled artists around the world has been trying to uphold in their spirit of working. And it's basically when we come together to make something creative, right? We need to think about how can it be accessible and not just in a very functional, top-down way. So we think about, okay, how can we incorporate sign language interpretation into the work? As you've seen from the film, it becomes part of the language of communication. It's not an afterthought. It's not like someone's talking and then, June over here, lovely June, thank you. Thank you for your hard work. You're doing a great job, right? So June is, now I'm not saying that, so June is basically what I'm speaking now, June is then adding on. But not that June isn't great, but when we make this work, we want to think about how can that be part of the art. And of course, captioning, if you notice, there is colored captioning. Yes. So your color was, did you see?
Green.
Only because I told you. So you're green, Will Smith is purple, and Chanel, who plays the model, she's red. So, this gives the deaf community, it's an extra aesthetic to it. So it's accessibility has been integrated into the art making. And we don't want it to be functional, or we don't want it to dilute the artistic merit of the work. It becomes the work. I could go on and on about it, but basically it's basically the design from day one. And of course, working with disabled artists, my mantra is always use it, don't lose it. So I don't believe in making a fish climb a tree. If a fish is going to swim beautifully, then my job here with all of you, we're going to build a swimming pool or a fish bowl or something like that. So that, I guess, in a nutshell, is about our attitude towards employing the aesthetics of accessibility in our work. I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Well, okay. I can only talk about my experience working with the whole team, I guess.
Go for it.
I think it's like what Grace just said just now. A lot of artistic choices actually are negotiated and to see like what we can do. And it's not just about pushing ourselves. We do push ourselves, of course, to make the work as good as possible. Yeah. At the same time, we also try to do something which is we are comfortable with. Yeah. So we can be comfortable when we are delivering the lines, how to do the sign languages. It's not about conforming to one standard. It's about reflecting what do we want to do and how we can have our own standards to better ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. I always tell people what we do is different, but it's not lesser. It's a different quality. And we should have that freedom in especially the realm of culture and arts. We don't have to conform to a particular notion of standard of what art making should be or what creative expression should be, right? When we talk about dance, for example, Amar, he moves beautifully, and it's not just, I'm not going to compare him to, say, a ballet dancer, because that's not him, right? So coming back to this idea of, like you said, like using something that we have in the room and not losing it because that's precious, that's organic, that's authentic.
Yes.
Right? And in a way, I guess the word that comes to mind is vernacular. Vernacular, it's local, it's sourced locally. We work with the talent in the room and we invest in the talent in the room, and we keep digging. What inspires you? And sometimes the moments of brilliance and genius, it comes from lived experiences of disability. Lived experiences of isolation, segregation, of being very creative because deaf and disabled people live in a disabling world. You want to talk a little bit about the social model of disability? What it means to you?
Okay, I have a very, maybe one example is like, we used to think that if the transportations are not available or if like there's no slope, no ramp for wheelchair users, it feels like the wheelchair users are encouraged not to go out. So for me, maybe when we flip the scenario, it's like actually they have the right, they should have the opportunity to like go out and to enjoy the benefits, like all those. But it's the society sometimes it's like they put a certain mindset that is not readily available for you, or maybe like they are not sure if you are interested to go out. So all these services are not being available.
Or why should I put in time and resources on something if I'm going to serve a very, very small minority group of people, right? And that's something that we at Access Path, it anchors our work. Whatever that we do, we use the social model of disability. So we identify the barriers in the room and beyond the room as well. And like what you have said, the barriers it's not just infrastructure-wise or environmental. It's attitudinal. A lot of the time, things can be done, but attitudes are not willing to shift. There's prejudice, there's discrimination that is entrenched. And makes deaf and disabled artists in our context, makes it hard for them to train or be employed and things like that. So I guess coming back to the context of self-portrait, we have gone beyond that conversation about I'm disabled, look at what I do and things like that. We're not about that.
We're not here to I mean, for lack of a better word, to inspire.
Yes, we're not here to inspire you, that's for sure. We're just here to share our, creativity and our work. Our work with you. So what you see is basically Subin's spirit, Subin's entire career and body of work. That is the main topic here. And I guess it also brings in the theme of when we were invited by the gallery to do this work. For me, it was about perception. It really is about perception, what we view within and beyond our own world, what we're comfortable with, what we're not comfortable with, right? So with the workshop, it was about, oh, I'm not a writer. And in Singapore, you get that a lot. I'm not an arts person. I'm a self-person. I can't sing. I can only sing in the shower. I'm not a dancer. Everybody can dance. You just need to, get to it. Everybody can sing. You can. You physically, you can, if you want to.
Okay, now Grace, sing.
All right. How dare you? But this idea of can and cannot was, again, I think, because
we have a certain standard, like
notions, right? Again,
you need to be like this in order to sing.
You must be like
this in
Celine
order to
Dion
dance.
or Pavarotti or something, right? And therefore, I can't sing. Which is not true. I mean, the pure enjoyment of so many bathroom singers I know, and the acoustics are always fantastic.
Okay.
Right? And people who dance at a party or a wedding and they have a good time. That feeling. You want that feeling.
It's really about
in the
enjoying
space.
yourself,
The
being
pleasure.
comfortable with yourself. Just being yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So that's what we advocate with our work, really. To say what you want to say, to be yourself, and to, in this case, honor, really. And actually, you know what? Always check your perception. I love that line that you talk about. 要真正了解一个人. Is it 真正了解一张?
一张照片是需要时间.
So it takes time. It absolutely takes time to, when you go into an art space and you want to consume an art piece. It could be, in this case, a portrait, an artwork, or a play, or a song. Some people just, that level, what is the degree of consumption here?
Because, well, for me, if I go into the gallery space, if I don't have the chance to join the curator's tour or this collaborative process, I would just take the photo, the artwork at a very face value.
Face value, that's the thing
so
that we do.
So for me, it will be, it's black and white. It's this guy doing something. So that's it. I would just walk out of the space. But today when I go through the curator's tour, I listen to the stories, how it's really inspired me, and how I want to share this through the text and the performance. And it's interesting when the participants for the writing workshop, they have the same thoughts and ideas, but maybe presented in a different way. So it's like, to be very cliche, it's like same but different. And it's inspire us to share this with more audience. Yeah, so it doesn't just survive in a text form or just a photo, the image of a photo. It's like the whole story behind how we can record it, archive it for audience, not just who had the opportunity to go into the gallery, but also audience not in Singapore. Yeah,
Indeed,
the international
indeed.
audience.
Yeah, and that's the spirit of accessibility. We do want Subin's spirit of how he works. We are such great fans of really his ethos. We find that it's aligned with our ethos, and the film will be on for the entire week, I believe, on this platform, this Festival for Good platform. And there is an audio described version for our viewers who are blind or vision impaired, and that will be on the Access Path Productions website as well. So you can go to www.accesspathproductions.com and you will be able to access, and actually, you know what, even if it's not just for them really. The aesthetics of access is for everybody. The captions will benefit people even if they're not deaf or hard of hearing, or, you know.
I benefited a lot.
Me too. I use captions on Netflix all the time. I definitely do, you know. Yeah, so the sign language, you get to see, you know, someone like Evelyn sculpting meaning in the air from her gentle bare hands. You know, and the audio description as well. I will describe things, I'm the one doing it, you know, I will describe things that you might have missed, you know, and so I think the aesthetics of access, or what we do at Access Path, is about engaging all your senses. So I just really want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Please spread the word about this work, and hopefully we can reach more people with Self-Portrait, this performative film. Thank you for your time. Back to Erwin.
Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Kawai, for the performance dialogue session and peeling away the different layers of the film and giving us more insights to the performance. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting finale to our virtual Festival for Good 2020. We thank you for joining us today, and we would like to acknowledge all our staff, our supporters, our partners, special guests, and to our social enterprises, for which all this is for and by. And we would like to remind everyone that you can still experience and support social enterprises at the Festival for Good, especially the Marketplace, for another week till 29th November 2020, which is next Sunday. Well, I'm Erwin from the Singapore Centre for Social Enterprise, RAISE, and I wish all of you a great week ahead. Well, do take care and stay safe. Goodbye.